بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين أما بعد. Today's lesson, alhamdulillah, is not a difficult lesson. In fact, it'll be a very quick lesson, بإذن الله. I'm not going to test anyone today, inshallah. Like I said, next week is the revision and the exam. I'll test you then, inshallah. Just to save time, we'll just go through, I'll quickly revise what we've taken, and then we'll read through the explanation of or the sifa of how to do Hajj. So we took the pillar of Hajj, and then we took a Hajj, and we said that it was the fifth pillar of Islam, and then we also took the 6 shurut of obligation, 5, and then 1 extra, which is for the women. So it says it is obligatory for a Muslim, sane, mature, free, and able. So these are 5, and a male guardian for a woman who needs to travel. And there are 4 pillars of Hajj: Ihram, al-wuquf fi Arafah, Tawaf, يعني طواف الزيارة, and Sa'i. And the 3 types of Hajj were Tamattu', Qiran, and Ifrad. A person doing Qiran is known as Qarin, but the type is actually known as Qiran. So Tamattu' is where you do Umrah, you come out of Ihram, then you do Hajj. Qiran, Umrah and Hajj, but you don't come out of Ihram. And Ifrad is only Hajj. And for Tamattu' and Qarin, there's slaughter, but for Ifrad, there is not. The obligations of Hajj, 7. Ihram from the appointed place, to stay Arafah until sunset, to stay the night in Muzdalifah, to stay in Mina for the 3 nights after Eid, shaving the head or cutting the hair, throwing the pebbles, Ramyu al-Jamarat, and the farewell Tawaf. And the Mawaqit are 2 types, the time and place. Regarding the places, so you talked a bit about this. There's a video I sent into the group, in the Telegram group today of Sheikh Qasim. It's a 20-minute video, subhanAllah. I thought it was a bit shorter, but 20 minutes. It's in Arabic. Maybe try to listen for those who can. He kind of does explain the Mawaqit and exactly where they are. And even the one that Umar radiallahu anh, I think he mentioned there's only 9 miles, out, which isn't too far if you look at the grand scheme of things, without any technology. And likewise, he was talking about some of the other, signs that ulama had placed that this is where the miqat is, or this, and without any technology, they were only like 3 miles out, or, so it shows how precise they were. No. And we took the recommended actions, and then last lesson, we actually let's read the recommended. We didn't read them yesterday. Wearing the 2 white pieces of cloth, taking a shower and smelling good, the talbiyah, labbaik Allahumma labbaik, from ihram until throwing the jamarat al-aqaba, so this is during the Hajj. For Umrah, it's just until you enter into Makkah. No. Exactly when, wallah, I can't remember at the moment. I think some ulama say that until you see the houses of Makkah, and some say until just before you're about to start the tawaf. But I can't remember which one is. I can't remember which one's the stronger opinion. So maybe somebody can look into that, inshallah. Or maybe I'll try to look into that as well. But when is it you actually stop? I can't remember at the moment. No. Walking fast in the first 3 of the tawaf al-qudum for the mufrad and qarin, the pray Maghrib Isha together in Muzdalifah as soon as you reach there, exposing the right shoulder when doing tawaf, kissing the black stone, sleeping in Mina the night before, and standing in Muzdalifah, supplicating Fajr until sunrise. Okay. Then the prohibitions, you mentioned that there were 9, and they were splitting them into 4. That which has no sacrifice, and that which sacrifices the same, that's killing. The severe one, which is having intercourse, and then the rest is expiation of offense, fidyatu adha, and that's a choice between fasting 3 days, or feeding 6 poor people, or slaughtering a sheep. And we said the difference between a dam, which is known as fidyatu adha, for doing a prohibition, is that you have a choice, but a dam for leaving off a wajib is that you have to slaughter. And the names of Hajj, we took the names of Hajj, and I also mentioned the actions to do on the day of Eid: Ran, Haq, Ra for Rami, Noon for Nahar, slaughtering, Ha for Halq or Taqsir, and Tawaf for Tawaf. And the 5 places supplicate during Hajj. Let's read what Ibn Athim rahimahullah he says. So basically he gives a description of how to do Umrah and Hajj. So he says, once you get to the appointed place, what he means by appointed place is miqat. You can take a shower. So you can do this there, or you can do it before. You can do this at the miqat, as long as you don't go past the miqat, you know. So you can do it at the miqat, or you can do it before. If you're in a hotel, for example, you can do it in your hotel. That's not a problem. Men put on perfume on your body, head, or beard. Don't put it on the clothes. Yeah, not on the clothes. Then the men put on the 2 pieces of white cloth and make the intention to make Umrah of Tamattu'. So the Sheikh's going to talk about Tamattu'. That's the one that everyone does, most people do anyway. And this is the one that majority of ulama, now say, and the fatwa given now is that, or the opinion now is that this is the best type. Because the Prophet said, if I was able to do it next year, then I would do Tamattu'. No. What's happened? Then when you reach the Kaaba, go around it 7 times for Tawaf of Umrah. Know that you can do Tawaf anywhere in the masjid, whether it is close to the Kaaba or far, as I explained yesterday in my beautiful drawing. Obviously, the further out you are, the longer it's going to take. However, being closer to it is better, as long as you're not bothered by the big crowd. If it is too crowded, then you can find another place and there's no problem. All praises, thanks, and thanks is for Allah. Once you complete Tawaf, pray 2 rak'at, 2 units of prayer behind Maqam Ibrahim. Peace upon him. If you're not able to pray close to it, then anywhere, as long as the Maqam is between you and the Kaaba. So try to keep the Maqam in front of you, between you and the Kaaba. But if there's no space whatsoever, do try to find it. So if it's not direct, at least, wait to the side. If not, then you can pray in other places. Yeah. If you're not able to pray, okay, we said that. Yeah, if you're not able to pray close to it, then anywhere, as long as the maqam is between you and the Kaaba. Then go to the sa'i and begin with the safa. Once you complete 7 rounds, get a haircut on the entire head. It is not sufficient to only get a haircut of part of the head, so don't be tricked by the actions of many. We talked about this. Do the whole head. That's Sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ, and that's the minimum you have to do according to the Hanabila and the Malikiyah, because that's what the Prophet ﷺ did. On the 8th day of Hajj, or Hijjah, take a shower, men put on perfume, put on the 2 pieces of white clothes, and make the intention to make Hajj from wherever you are. So if you're in Mecca, wherever you are, the hotel you're in, from your intention from there. You go to Mina, you pray Dhuhr, Asr, Maghrib, and Isha, and Fajr. You shorten the prayers, but you don't combine them. So when you go there, you shorten them. So you pray Dhuhr 2 rak'at, but you don't combine them, because that's what the Prophet used to do. But not combine them, since our Prophet used to shorten the prayers in Mina and Mecca, but he would not combine them. But there's a nice masala here. I think Uthman radiallahu anhu. Anyone wants to do a bit of research, they can research what Uthman radiallahu anhu used to do over here. Anyways, when the sun rises on the day of Arafah, so you're in Mina all that time. On the day of Arafah, when the sun rises, head out while saying the talbiyah with humbleness and tranquility to Arafah. Combine Dhuhr and Asr, praying in Arafah. When Dhuhr time enters, 2 units each. Okay, so in Arafah you combine both of them. No, and you combine them and you shorten them. Then you busy yourselves with supplication to Allah. So in Arafah, what you do? Just focus on dua. Just focus on dua. Try your best to have ablution, wudu. Face the Qibla even if the mountain is behind you, since that is a law of Allah. No. It says that's the mashru', that's what's legislated. Check carefully the signs, but I've got the Arabic, so I'm just double checking the Arabic just to make sure. Yeah, so law of Allah meaning, yeah, it's mashru', that's what is legislated. Check carefully the signs of the borders of Arafah. So they got signs. And make sure that you are in it. Since whoever does not stay in Arafah, their Hajj is not valid due to the saying of our Prophet ﷺ, Al-Hajj Arafah. Hajj is Arafah. One may stay anywhere in Arafah, east, west, south, north, except by the valley of Urna. No, Urna. Since our Prophet ﷺ has said, I stayed right there, and you can stay anywhere in Arafah. So after Arafah, at the sunset, leave for Muzdalifah while saying the Talbiyah with humbleness. Continue with tranquility as much as possible, as the way our Prophet ﷺ has ordered us when he left from Arafah and had tied his sheikh camel with a rope, and his head would almost reach the saddle, telling us with his noble hand, "O people, take it easy, take it easy." Meaning you should leave with tranquility and not, hasten too much. So after Arafah, where do you go? So you went from Mina to Arafah. After Arafah, we go to Muzdalifah. You stay the night in Muzdalifah, and then you do the things on the day of Eid. So once you get to Muzdalifah, you pray Maghrib and Isha there. Okay, you combine them. So the same day, you combine between Dhuhr and Asr and Arafah, the Maghrib and Isha in Muzdalifah. Then you sleep until Fajr. The Prophet ﷺ has not allowed anyone to leave before Fajr except the weak, old, or sick. Okay, because obviously it takes them longer and so on. Otherwise, you should stay. He allowed them to leave before Fajr. After you pray Fajr, face the Qibla and glorify Allah by saying Allahu Akbar, praise Him and supplicate to Him until it is almost day. Then just before sunrise, head to Mina, pick up 7 pebbles and go to the big rock. So they have names, there's 3 of them. There's big, the middle, and the small one, which is the last one next to Mecca, and throw it with 7 pebbles after sunrise. No. Just before sunrise, had to pick up 7 pebbles and go to the big rock, which is the last one next to Mecca, and throw it with 7 pebbles. After sunrise, was saying Allahu Akbar with each throw, with calmness and humility. This is important, right? You're not actually, causing, you're not actually, hitting shaitan with that. Some people, they get a bit, out of ignorance, they don't know. Look what the Shaykh says. He says, know that the reason for throwing the pebbles is to glorify Allah and to remember Him. It is a must for the pebbles to fall in the hole. It is not a condition to hit the big rock. So you don't have to whack it. Otherwise, it's going to bounce off and it might hit somebody else. Once you throw the pebbles, sacrifice the animal. So remember, run hat. So we've done the rami, the throwing, and the sacrifice. It is allowed to appoint someone to sacrifice on your behalf. Shave your entire head after your sacrifice. It is not valid to shave some of it. You have to do your whole head. Women cut from the ends of their hair about 1 centimeter. No. Yeah, I said بقدر أنملة. أنملة is a fingertip, I think. No, it's 1 centimeter. Now you are free to wear normal clothes. Clip the nails. So after this, right, this is known as tahallul al-awwal. You've come up ihram and you're in tahallul al-awwal, the first form of halal, basically. So what does that mean? Now you are free to wear normal clothes, clip the nails, put on cologne, يعني perfume, but do not have a relationship with your wife. Okay, so this is the difference between tahallul al-awwal, the first one, and tahallul al-thani, is that you can't have a relationship with your wife. Okay, so once you do 2 of the actions from the actions of the day of Eid, then you have done tahallul al-awwal, meaning you can wear normal clothes if you want now. Okay, and you can put on everything else, but you can't have a relationship with your spouse. Then after that, you go to Mecca before Dhuhr prayers and perform the Tawaf and the Sa'i for Hajj. Then go back to Mina. No. Then you go back to Mina. No. After committing Tawaf and Sa'i, throwing the pebbles and shaving, you are completely free to even sleep with your wife. Meaning, now you've done Tahallul al-Thani. You've done Tahallul al-Thani. See, it's in the Arabic. I don't know why they've not mentioned that. Maybe to make it easier. Let's see. يعني حللتم التحلل الثاني. No. O people, surely the one performing Hajj must do 4 actions on the day of Eid: throwing the pebbles, then sacrificing, then shaving the head, then Tawaf and Sa'i. This is the best order. We talked about this. However, if you change the order and you shave before you sacrifice, it is also acceptable. If you if you delay the Tawaf and Sa'i until you go back from Mina, it is also valid. If you delay sacrificing and do it in Mecca on the 13th, it is fine, especially if there's a need or greater benefit. Sleep the 11th night in Mina. After Dhuhr, so the next day now, after Dhuhr, throw the 3 rocks with pebbles. So you go to all 3. So on the day of Eid, you only go to the big one. And then on the days after, you go to all 3. With pebbles beginning with the small, then medium, and then large. Um, to be honest, I don't know how if they look different back in the day, but now they all look the same. So it's not really one smaller, one's bigger, or anything like that. That's just the name. You'll know which one it is. Don't worry about it. Yeah. Throw each rock with 7 pebbles or sing Allahu Akbar with each pebble. So you say Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Yeah. The time to throw the pebbles on the day of Eid begins at sunrise for the week just before Fajr until sunset. The time for throwing them after the day of Eid is Dhuhr until sunset. It is not allowed to go before Dhuhr. It is allowed to go at night if it is overcrowded during the day. Whoever is not able to go and throw the pebbles due to being too young, too old, or sick, it is allowed to appoint someone to throw for them. It is allowed for the one appointing to throw them for himself and for another person in one trip, as long as one completes his own first. So if you're throwing for yourself and somebody else, right, you can do that, but throw your own first. Once you've done yours, then you can throw for somebody else. It is allowed for the one, once you have thrown the pebbles on the 12th, the Hajj is complete. And now you have the choice. Basically, you have a choice now. You can either leave on the 12th or you can stay another day and leave on the 13th. It's up to you. You have a choice. So on the 12th, the Hajj is complete, and you have the choice to end the Hajj or sleep in Mina the 9th or 13th and throw the pebbles after Dhuhr. This is better since it is what our Prophet ﷺ did. If you want to leave Makkah, perform the farewell. Now, if you want to leave Makkah, then you perform the farewell Hajj, tawaf al-wada'. There is no tawaf for women on the menses or postnatal, nor do they have to come close to the door of the masjid. Now, so that is how to do Hajj. So as you can see, there are a few things. Subhanallah, I didn't get time to maybe look up a diagram or anything. Maybe I'm pretty sure you can search. You've got the thing now, but I'm pretty sure you can search like a diagram and it tells you exactly what to do in what order. There are quite a few things to do. Obviously, compared to Umrah, Umrah is quite simple. Umrah is just right. Miqat, Tawaf, Sa'i, you're done. With this is now you have to go with Hajj. You do Umrah first, come out with Ihram, then you go Mina, then you stay there a day, then you go Arafah, then you go Muzdalifah, then you go do the action on the day of Eid, then you stay in Mina for a while. Is a bit more, and like I said, it's if you don't actually do it yourself, it's a bit more difficult to understand. But no problem, as long as you try to understand what we've taken here. Maybe look for a diagram, maybe look for somebody if they've got like a nice visual video, somebody trustworthy. You can watch that to give you a better understanding, inshallah. But bi'idhnillah, we'll stop today's lesson here, and next week, inshallah, the timing of next week's lesson I'll let you know closer to the time, inshallah. And next lesson will just be a revision. I'll test you like I normally do, and then we'll take the questions of Hajj, inshallah. There's quite a few. And then we can start the manners. To be honest, the manners isn't really that long. I think it's only 1 page. Yeah, it's only 1 page. Is it? No, it's okay, we'll worry about that when the time comes, inshallah. Now, any questions or anything before I close the Zoom link? No questions. So does everyone, how does everyone feel regarding Hajj? My advice would be like, if you want to actually understand like how to do Hajj, maybe try to just summarize the main points that everyone's saying and set the steps. That's what the diagram is. Inshallah, maybe look at the diagram and say, okay, this is what you do, and this is what you do, and this is what you do. Now, obviously, like with Salah, it's a lot easier than the technical rulings and the sifa because you do it on a day-to-day basis. But with Hajj, that's not, you just you do like once in a lifetime, right? لا بأس inshallah. One advice I would give is try to sit with the other classmates. Hamza, sit with Ammar and Muhammad Khan, for example. And sisters get together as well, and maybe try to explain it to each other, and go through it. That will help a lot, inshallah. If anyone does find a good video, maybe let me know if it's something trustworthy. I'll share it, inshallah. With visuals, all right, this is what you do first and this is what you do next. That'll be good. Bismillah. Alhamdulillah, I understand. I just need to memorize the information. Yeah, alhamdulillah. Amin wa iyyak. Okay, inshallah. إذا I'll stop here, and I'll see you next week. سبحانك اللهم